For thousands of years, ancient Egypt followed a solid religious tradition. It's filled with gods, rituals, and monumental temples. But one single pharaoh dared to challenge everything. He broke with the priesthood, transformed art, moved the capital of the empire, and declared that only one god should be worshipped. His name was Akhenaton. For some, he was a spiritual visionary. For others, a ruler who dangerously disrupted the very balance of Egypt. Today, you will discover the complete story of the most controversial pharaoh of antiquity. Before we begin, like this video, share it with anyone who loves ancient history. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss more content just like this. Long before Akhenaton was born, Egypt lived under an extremely powerful religious structure. This wasn't just about faith. Egyptian polytheism shaped politics, the economy, and daily life itself. At the heart of this system was a vast pantheon of gods, each with their own domain. There was Ra, the sun god, who sailed across the sky each day. Osiris, the lord of the underworld. And his wife Isis, the mother goddess. Above all, the priests of Aton, a creator god often merged with Ra, held immense power. Their main temple at Karnak was more than a place of worship. It was a political and economic powerhouse, controlling vast lands and fortunes. The pharaoh was seen as the crucial link between the gods and humanity, responsible for maintaining Mat, the universal order. Into this deeply traditional world, a prince was born, Amenhotep IV. As the son of the powerful pharaoh Amenhotep III, he was destined to rule. He received the finest education, steeped in religious and political traditions. But even from a young age, he showed a different spiritual outlook. While the court busied itself with rituals for countless gods, the young prince seemed drawn to a single, universal force, the physical disk of the sun, the Aton. This wasn't just a preference. It was the seed of a revolutionary idea that would soon shake the foundations of the entire kingdom. The Great Transformation came with a radical concept. Aton, the solar disk, would not be just another god in the pantheon. He would be the only one. This was a profound shift. While Ra was a god who personified the sun, Aton was the sun itself, a tangible, life-giving force whose rays reached everyone, not just Egyptians. This universalism was a direct challenge to the old priesthood, who acted as exclusive intermediaries to the gods. As Amenhotep IV began to promote the cult of Aton, tensions with the powerful priests of Amon began to simmer. They saw their influence, their wealth, and their entire belief system under threat. The final break came when the pharaoh made a definitive move. He abandoned his birth name, Amenhotep, which meant Amen is satisfied, and became Akhenaton, meaning he who is beneficial to Aton. This wasn't just a name change, it was a declaration of war on the old order. He began to systematically weaken the traditional temples, redirecting their immense wealth to his new cult. The names of the old gods were chiseled off monuments, and the worship of Ammon was officially forbidden. The religious elite, stripped of their power, could only watch in silent fury as their world was dismantled before their eyes. To complete his revolution, Akhenaton made an unprecedented decision. He abandoned Thebes, the traditional religious capital, built an entirely new city in the desert. Dedicated exclusively to Aton, he called it Akhenaton, the horizon of Aton, known today as Amarna. Unlike the dark and closed temples of the old gods, the architecture of Akhenaton was open to the sky. Great courtyards and temples without roofs allowed the sunlight, the physical presence of Aton, to flood every space. The city itself was a symbol of his new world order, a fresh start, free from the shadows of the past. Akhenaton's revolution also transformed art. For centuries, pharaohs had been depicted as idealized, godlike figures, eternally perfect and powerful. But the art of the Amarna period was shockingly different. For the first time, the pharaoh was shown as a human being, with an elongated skull, a slender neck, and a protruding belly. He was depicted in intimate, candid scenes with his wife, the beautiful Nefertiti, and their daughters. These reliefs show the royal family playing, eating, and mourning, all bathed in the life-giving rays of the Aton. It was a radical break from divine idealization, emphasizing the pharaoh's role as the sole intermediary to his one true god. But while Akhenaton was laser-focused on his spiritual project, the Egyptian empire began to show signs of fragility. With his attention turned inward, diplomatic ties with foreign allies were neglected. Letters found at Amarna showed desperate pleas from vassal kings for help, pleas that often went unanswered. Inside Egypt, dissatisfaction grew. The common people, whose entire lives were intertwined with the old gods, felt lost and abandoned. The military and the administrative elite, sidelined by the new cult, began to form a silent resistance, waiting for the moment the pharaoh's radical experiment would finally collapse. After about 17 years of rule, Akhenaton died. The spiritual project did not long outlive him. His young successor, Tutankhamun, was pressured to restore the old order. The court abandoned the city of Akhenaton, leaving it to the desert sands. The temples of Ammon were reopened, and a systematic campaign began to erase Akhenaton's memory from history. His statues were smashed, his name scraped from monuments. He was branded the heretic pharaoh. Yet his ideas would never be fully forgotten. Some scholars believe his radical monotheism may have influenced later religious thought, planting a seed that would blossom centuries later. So, was Akhenaton a visionary or a heretic? Is he a spiritual genius who saw a universal truth, or a dangerous fanatic who nearly destroyed his kingdom? He was a ruler who challenged everything that existed, forcing his people into a new reality. His legacy crossed millennia and continues to provoke debate to this day, a testament to the man who dared to worship a single god. If you enjoyed this journey into ancient history, please like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. Here the past comes to life. See you in the next video.